Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is me, the Mysterious Cameraman, and today I'm going to be talking about Black Panther Wakanda Forever and if it's still good. So I'm probably going to make another one of these videos in a while, but I did this for Multiverse of Madness back when that released. I didn't do it for Thor Love and Thunder, but I decided to do it for this because there wasn't too much content in January. Before we get into my thoughts, if you didn't know, Black Panther Wakanda Forever just released on Disney Plus by the time this video is going up yesterday. So I'm just going to quickly talk about my thoughts on it for my second viewing. This is actually my third viewing, but second in real viewing, really. And before we get into it, I know January was a bit of a slow month for my channel. It was one of the worst months I've had in a while, but that was just because a lot of fan films didn't release. In February, I can tell you about Dead No More. There's the teaser trailer for Last Hunt. There is something for Back to Basics, I believe. So there's a lot coming out in February, I meant. So I'm not really too worried about there being a lack of content like there was this month. Before we get into it, if you haven't already seen my teaser trailer for Spider-Man and Kingpin, it's my own fan film, go check that out on my channel as the official trailer will be coming very soon. Now let's get into the video. So, spent a bit of time on it. In short, let's get into it. So the first time I watched it, I really liked it, but I kind of liked it more as the film. On the second and third watchings, I kind of looked more into it, the film itself. The first time, and then I made the review, I spoke a lot about what my initial thoughts were, how I thought about the film, but this next time I'm going to talk more about how I would grade a fan film on it. And of course it's very different, but I'm still going to do it that way. So as for directing, I'd say this is one of the best directed Marvel films ever. It has some of the best shots really, and again, this is directed by the great Ryan Coogler, so you can't really expect much else. But it is really great with some of the shots in this film, and it helps illuminate some of the scenes to extents that you wouldn't really expect. As for editing, I'd say the editing is really good. I'd say it's probably the weakest point, though. Like, there are, again, with Marvel recently, there have been some things that were a bit bad. Like, there was one scene before the Wakanda war in the second act, where M'Baku's just standing with his friends, and it looks like he's in front of a green screen. And there's also that final shot where Ramona's like, show them who you are at the final act. So there's a few things, but overall it's still really good. Like, you can't really criticize. Acting's really good in this, like always. Angela Bassett, I think, got on. Yeah, definitely. I knew about this. Got nominated for an Oscar, which is the first supporting actress one, and I think the first Oscar Marvel's ever been nominated for. So obviously this film's great acting, not just from Angela Bassett, even though she's the best performance you've seen in the MCU ever. You also have great acting from Shuri and all those characters. Namor especially. Moving on to story, I think this is the best part of it. This film has such a great story and has some really good scenes. Like, this is some of my favorite scenes in MCU. Like, for example, the battle on the opening sequence, first off, is one of the best opening sequences, along with Multiverse of Madness. I'd say also I really like the war on Wakanda in the second act. That is one of the best battles. It's actually really scary. Like, most Marvel fight scenes are kind of just like blah. Like, they're not blah, but like they don't hold too much stake. Like, I actually, when I first watched it, and actually again on the second time, I like kind of felt like threatened by Talakon, and that was kind of weird. Also, of course, the Condoleezza scene where Shuri first sees Talakon. That's still one of the best scenes in the film by far. Also, one of my favorite scenes is when Shuri goes into M'Baku and his, like, I forgot the name of them, the Jabari, their land, and entrances to the Black Panther is some of the best music, and it has the best music in the film. Also, I'm going to skip over choreography for a minute. The music in this is one of the best music things we've seen in the MCU since, like, Natalie Holt's Loki theme. It's still one of some of the best themes. Moving on to choreography, I really like the choreography in this film. Of course, if you don't know, Okoye's fight scene in the first act, actually the ending of the first act, took 4 months to film, so there were a lot of really cool fight sequences in this. It's pretty obvious. Of course, going back to the battle for Wakanda in the second act, that is still one of my favorite sequences in the film. Probably my favorite sequence, mostly because of how threatening it is. And if you haven't seen it, you don't really get what I'm saying about how threatening it is. But you kind of have to see it to believe it. But it really is a scary sequence. Like, if I was in Wakanda, I'd be scared for my life. And it feels way scarier than some of those scenes in like Age of Ultron when on like Sokovia, because this felt more threatening, especially with things like the music, the visuals with the water crashing in. It just feels so much more threatening than like a floating island. And I'm actually interested to see what you guys think about this. So go in the comments and actually tell me. But I actually really think that it's a very scary sequence for the MCU. So besides that, I really liked my second viewing of Wakanda Forever. I don't know too much else to say. I feel like everything I said is in that first review. So I don't have too much else to say. Besides that, before I wrap up this video, I'm also, if you don't know, working on the fan film challenge. I'm until March 1st, I believe. On March 1st, I'm shutting it down, but what it is you can submit a fan film. Most of them are going to be short fan films that you can make and then submit, and then I'm going to be reviewing and reacting, I think, to all of them, actually. So if you haven't already submitted or started working on that, if you want to do it, I'd suggest starting now. Also, if you haven't seen my teaser trailer for Spider-Man and Kingpin in Time, that's in the description and in this video. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.